morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm really excited to see we have attendees from all over the world today. My name is Vlada Sakara. I'm a product marketing manager at WiZ, and I welcome you to this WiZ Digital event. Today, we will learn all about the WiZ surprisingly thoughtful innovations, including products, the new WiZ app, and breakthrough features. But first, let me introduce our speakers of today. With us, we have Michael Klomp, who's the WiZ business leader, and Antona Care, who's their senior software product manager. Great to have you both here, and especially Michael, who's joining us from Hong Kong, where it's actually almost midnight. Thanks for being here, Michael. In a moment, Michael will introduce us to all the new WiZ products. Then Antona will take us through the new WiZ app with its exciting features. And last but not least, we will introduce a breakthrough WiZ feature, which will literally change the way you interact with your WiZ lights. So stay with us, and you will get all the news. And we will round up the event with a Q&A. Therefore, please feel free to send in your questions via the Q&A box, and you can do that anonymously if you wish. Also, we do appreciate your feedback. Therefore, please do rate our event via the link in the chat box. And now, let's get to it. Michael, the floor is yours.
With WiZ, we're on a mission to make smart lighting more accessible, but also more meaningful in daily life. We truly believe that lighting is not only about letting you see better, but it truly unlocks a more comfortable, caring, and joyful home. Every year, we introduce new products for new applications, so you can easily find a WiZ product for different places in your home. While developing and designing those products, we make use of new innovative features, basically creating new use cases that make it even more relevant and meaningful for our users. So they can easily enjoy our lights and always have lights respond to adapt to their individual needs. A good example is our Roon dual zone ceiling light that we've just launched this summer in Europe. It gives you the right ambience for relaxing, but also if you want to focus, because the light is tunable from warm to cool. The product also features this Hoover-like, very nice ring on the top that emits an elegant halo on your ceiling. It basically lets you create a delightful, decorative effect for every mood. The new Imago spotlights, as well as our new up and down wall lights, lets you create accents in your room and highlight objects. The colors of each of the heads are individual controllable, as well as the intensity of the beam. You can create different effects and let your creativity run free, and flood the room with all kinds of different light effects and scenes. We're also launching a new product category. We call it panel ceiling lights. They actually are a diffuse product that allow you to light up an entire room. Also, those products are controllable from warm to cool. So whether you want to get your work done faster or perform any activities, these products can suit your needs. Apart from the mentioned ceiling and wall lights, we're also introducing products that are much more flexible to place for example, beside your furniture or on a shelf. The bar linear light, as well as the pole floor lamp that I actually here have besides me, make it fit in very small areas. They project this beautiful light effect, so you can light up your deco shelf, use it behind your TV, behind your couch, or in any corner in your room. You would love it. In WiZ, we truly believe that smart lighting is not only for the techies or people that are enthusiastic about technology. Instead, the benefits of smart lighting are relevant to everyone. It's there to support your daily life and make your life easier. With WiZ, we make smart lighting so easy to start with because our lights are plug and play, but also in our daily use, we make it very intuitive. For example, also this new mobile portable lamp. It's so easy to get started, you just need to hook it up to your Wi-Fi. From the app, you can start immediately, choosing different gradients or nice color effects. The product is actually battery powered and has this very nicely designed handle, so you can carry it wherever you need it. For example, if you want to go outside to your balcony and enjoy a drink with your friends or family. We also thoughtfully added a panel so you can control the light without using your app or your voice. Pick your favorite light mode that you have programmed or dim it up and down. Now, let's watch a video where you can see our products come alive and how you can magically transform your home using WiZ.
Very exciting. Thank you, Michael. Also here in the studio, I have the WiZ Smart button. And with just one click, you can dim all of your lights for your movie night at home. It also comes with a magnetic back panel and a holder. And you can easily install it on your wall, stick it on your fridge, or just place it on your table. Now, Michael, we have quite some great additions to the portfolio. And I do know that the mobile portable light can be used indoors, but you can also take it outdoors, right? To just pop a bit of color to your evenings with your friends in the garden, for example. But tell us, are there any more exciting outdoor products we can be looking forward to?
Thanks, Vlada. Yes is the answer. In 1 month from now, you will actually be able to extend your WiZ experience to outside your home, because we're launching our first outdoor WiZ luminaire in the form of a color string light. It offers actually white and colored lights. When applied with dynamic light modes in the WiZ app, for example, party or Christmas, the individual bulbs will randomly light up in multiple colors. This way you can create an ambience that truly fits your desire. For example, having a cozy night with your friends, or a relaxed evening in the garden, reading or chatting with your family, or when you want to have a more festive effect and let the lights really stand out for a celebration or a special moment. As you have seen, we have many exciting new products, and I'm sure we will delight with lighting. Back to you, Vlada.
Exciting. Thanks a lot, Michael. Now, I'm confident quite a lot of our viewers are familiar with the WiZ app, so I think Antona might surprise you with our next announcement. But first, let's watch a video.
new is the keyword of the day, as in brand new. We have a brand new app for you, WiZ app v2. And that's the first time since we launched in 2016 that we're doing such a big revamp. So we're pretty excited about it, honestly. So we've been optimizing the new app for quite a few things, but primarily for intuitive control, really, to better accompany users as they install more and more lights throughout their rooms. We wanted to just have something that just takes them through that journey. So we had 3 big pillars when we've been rebuilding the app. The first thing we wanted to do was to have simpler, smarter control and smarter interactions. So it would take you less time, less taps on your phone to get something done. The second thing is that we wanted to have a clearer interface with a more thoughtful display of the information, so it's easier to find your way around. And the third thing is we just wanted to have something that's a bit smoother to navigate, visually pleasing, just nicer to the eye. So let's have a look and see how that works, right? So what we've done, for example, is that we have brought the room control down to just 1 tap. So when you open your app, you have the overview of all of the rooms that you have. And you can easily turn them on and off by just tapping on them. Or you can adjust the brightness easily by just sliding your finger across the whole tile. So it's really, really comfortable, really smooth of an experience. Now let's go and take a look inside a room. What happens if you tap on the tile and you get inside a room? Well, within the room, we have the list of all of the devices that you have and the groups. And for each and every of them, you can see, obviously, what's their status, so on, off, the brightness level, and you have that glow that tells you which mode is being used, right? You can, the same way, control one or the other by just turning on and off, tapping on them, or sliding your finger across to trigger the brightness changes. OK, on top of that room, you have a ribbon here, which is called Quick Control. You see it here on screen. This is here to give you a few shortcuts. So you have a few light modes or a few scenes that you handpick, and you can just tap on those to quickly apply that to your room. So for example, you can see behind me things are moving here really quickly, just by tapping on those modes here on top. If you need to access the whole palette with all the colors, everything for the whole room, then you can do this by tapping on the control icon on the left-hand side. And finally, you have a shortcut for the scenes, right? So you can see all of the scenes you have in the room and easily call them up, whichever you like. So it's really, really intuitive. Now, talking about scenes, we've made a few changes, a few improvements here as well. So for those who might not have been super familiar with the concept of scenes, just a reminder, once you have set your room to something that you really enjoy, say one light in blue, one light in green, you can save that. You save that configuration as a snapshot. So you can easily reuse it later. So you can have your favorite mood to watch TV or to have a nice family dinner, for example. Scenes before were limited to the whole room, all of the devices. And, well, we decided we could make it better. So we now let you exclude certain devices if you want to. So what for? For example, if you have a smart plug, which is not controlling lighting, or if you want a scene specifically for the TV corner, or specifically for the kitchen corner, then you can make this happen by just removing the lights you don't need to be in this scene. And we've also made it simpler to adjust the light modes you're using inside the scene. So overall, it's simpler, it's smoother, and it's a lot more powerful. Now, we talk a lot about all of that new control, but obviously, control in WiZ only works if you have the right access rights. As you might know, in the V1, we had 2 levels. We had the owners, who can do everything, all the settings, all the control from anywhere in the world. And we had the guest, who could just do control, so on, off, and they could only do this when they were on the home Wi-Fi, not outside of the home. In V2, we're introducing one level in between, which is the member. The member can do all of the control, like the guest, but he doesn't need to be connected to the home Wi-Fi. So that's really handy if you want to just give somebody access to your lights, but you don't want them to be on the network. So it's really just convenience. If you take this and you add up the improvements we have made to the invitation process, where you can easily select a duration of like 3 days, 7 days, And then you get that very nice little QR code you just need to scan. Then the invitation process is becoming really powerful for a ton of use cases, from just your kids to some guests in a B&B or anything else. So we're quite proud of this one, honestly. All right, so visually speaking, you might have noticed that the application also now supports light and dark themes, right? And obviously, by default, we're going to follow whatever your phone is doing, so you have it comfortable and aligned with your system. But if you decide so, you can go in the app and force it one way or the other. One big change as well is that we have decided for the first time to give the same interface on iOS and Android. We have noticed that there was a bit more fluidity in the usage. People switch phones, back and forth, and to help them not having to relearn anything, we decided we'd have the same interface for both. So here it is. All right, so a few more things. We only have that much time. So I'm going to go to the next space we have defined in that V2. It's called the library. The library is a brand new space we have, and it has 3 functions. Number 1, it's going to help you learn and understand what all of those light modes we have crafted. So ocean, forest, fireplace, cozy, what do they do? What can you use them for? What's the benefit for you? So this is like a learning space for you to know more about our light modes. The second thing you can do is to customize your own color palette. So you can go and pick your own custom colors, your own custom whites, and save all of those to reuse them later. The third thing is to manage all of your scenes. So you can call up a whole list of the scenes of the whole home and go ahead and reorganize, rename, update, and all of this. So that library space is going to grow a lot in the coming month. So watch this space, because we're going to have new features coming in with more customization and so on and so forth. All right, so moving on to the other tabs we have at the bottom of the screen. We have quick actions. Quick actions is something that's really, really important to us. It's the big central button you have at the bottom there. And quick actions are essentially user-defined shortcuts to help you do all of your usual actions in just 1 or 2 taps. Let's take some examples. So for example, that could be turning off all the lights when you're leaving home. That could be turning on your favorite scene, movie time, if you're watching something on Netflix. That could be turning one light specifically in green, if you want to notify people in the home that, OK, you're still in the office, but they can come see you because you're not on a call. The number of options is literally unlimited. You can do anything you want with quick actions. Today, they are mostly for control. So it's mostly about turning on, turning off, changing the colors, and so on and so forth. But tomorrow, we'd like to go one step further and also let you play with settings. For example, enabling or disabling quickly some schedules or some motion sensing. Talking about that, by the way, the automation tab still has the schedules, still has the rhythms signature feature, and has one more surprise. I'm not going to talk about it just yet. It's coming right after. But stay tuned, because this is quite interesting. All right, so I'm almost at the end of that kind of tour of the application. So let me just close on a few more ideas. This is the first release of the app v2. And it's coming to you towards the end of this month. First release of a brand new journey we're taking together, with new features coming in, optimizations, visual improvements. The V1 has lived from 2016 to 2022. So you should expect that V2 is also going to grow and improve and evolve as we develop new features and new use cases as well.
Very exciting. Thanks, Antona. I myself got very early access to WiZ App v2, and I really recommend you, those at home or from office watching us today, to try it out, because I'm sure you will love it. And now, the last but not least topic of today, the breakthrough WiZ feature SpaceSense, which will literally change the way you interact with your WiZ lights. So now let's watch a video where our head of software product management explains all about SpaceSense, what it is, how it works, and what you can expect from it. But first, Antona, I heard we have some quick actions to dim the lights in the studio?
Yes, yes, we do, absolutely. So let's do this. 1 tap and 2 tap. There we go.
Hi, my name is Danny, and I'm the head of product management here at WiZ, and I'm super excited to finally be able to talk to you about SpaceSense and tell you a little bit more about how it works under the hood. SpaceSense is a motion detection technology developed here at WiZ that allows you to automate your smart lights based on movement without the need for any dedicated motion detection hardware. To make this possible, we've effectively turned any SpaceSense compatible connected by WiZ devices into the most subtle and integrated motion sensors in the world. Any room with at least 2 SpaceSense compatible devices installed in it can activate motion detection, just as if you'd installed a couple of classic passive infrared motion sensors in a couple of places. However, compared to existing motion detection technologies, SpaceSense comes with a number of additional benefits. First and foremost is the fact that it works across the entire room. The lights don't require line of sight, so there's less risk of blind spots. Secondly, the devices integrate seamlessly in the rest of the environment. Not only do they look like normal connected lights, from a hardware perspective, they actually are. Unlike most other detection technologies, SpaceSense doesn't require batteries and doesn't require physical installation. As soon as you've onboarded the lights in your WiZ app, you're basically good to go. And since it's all neatly integrated into a single hardware package, there's no need for you to run out and go and buy more equipment, saving you a little bit of money along the way. So how does this seemingly magical feature actually work? Well, as you know, WiZ lights use Wi-Fi to connect to your home network and to the internet. Well, it turns out that Wi-Fi signals are ever so slightly disturbed when people move around in a room, and our lights are able to pick up on those small deviations in signal strength. By comparing these deviations in 2 or more lights in different locations in the room, we can build up a statistical model that allows us to determine whether the movement was created inside the room or comes from an outside source of interference. By using a clever machine learning algorithm, we can turn those statistics into reliable detection events for the WiZ lights, and for instance, turn on the lights whenever movement is detected. Since Wi-Fi signals are reflected off the walls, of your furniture and other hard-surfaced objects in a room, it basically works across the entire room and not just in between the lights, avoiding that tripwire effect that you get with other motion detection technologies. Since we use Wi-Fi, we don't create any new radio signals in your home, and it works everywhere where you have decent Wi-Fi coverage. So to set it up, all you need to do is launch the app, go to the Automation tab, and create a new SpaceSense automation. The app will take you through a simple calibration procedure that allows the lights to learn what your Wi-Fi environment looks like when there's no one moving around. Once it's calibrated, you're basically good to go. The only thing that you need to do is decide what you want your lights to do whenever movement is detected in that room. Whether that means turning them on or off, changing the color or brightness, activating a scene, or one of the many beautiful light modes that we have in the WiZ platform. Of course, you can also change the sensitivity of the algorithm so that when your beloved pet wanders around in the living room late at night, your lights don't needlessly turn on. Also good to know is that the algorithm continues to learn and it gets better over time. As it learns more about what your Wi-Fi environment looks like in different circumstances, it is able to create a better idea of what an actual movement event constitutes. Which brings me to the last thing I want to talk about, which is privacy. Just like the rest of the WiZ platform, SpaceSense has been designed from the ground up with privacy in mind. To achieve this, we are doing all of the calculations and all of the machine learning on the devices themselves and not in the cloud. This means that we don't have access to any of your movement statistics, neither would any hackers that decide to target our servers. So your data and information is perfectly safe with WiZ. And of course, it's all opt-in. If you don't like the feature, just don't enable it in the application and the lights will keep it disabled in their firmware. So as you can tell, SpaceSense is a great example of how WiZ approaches innovation. We only do it when there's a tangible benefit, clear benefit to be had for the end user, and we try to avoid technology for technology's sake.
Now, I'm sure you might need some time to digest all the information from Danny, and I think the next video will exactly do that. Our next video is about an mysterious WiZ user that is experiencing SpaceSense for the first time. Enjoy. Hey, my name is Vlada Sakara and I'm Hi, my name is Vlada Sakara and I'm a product marketing manager at WiZ. I'm a WiZ user for some time now and I really enjoy the easiness and user-friendliness of the system, and today I'm actually going to test SpaceSense. SpaceSense is a Wi-Fi motion detection technology which is embedded within the WiZ lights. So let's get to it. I'm in my living room where I spend a lot of time usually, where I relax or spend some time with my friends, and that's when the WiZ lights come in handy because they really help me achieve that cozy atmosphere. But sometimes, for example, I'm working upstairs and I want to cross my living room to go into the kitchen to make a tea. And that's when I don't want to be bothered with switches or installing extra sensors. I just want the light to turn on when I'm stepping into my living room to help me with my task, and I want it to turn off when I leave the room. And I think that's when SpaceSense will come really handy in this case. So for SpaceSense to work, you need at least 2 WiZ lights in the room. I have the luminaire, which is already installed, and I also have the WiZ linear bar, which is new. I just set it up and installed in the app, so it should be good to go. The lights need to be at least 2 meters apart from each other, which is the case in my living room. And we're good to go. So let me open my app and check for SpaceSense. So I already created my WiZ home and installed my WiZ lights within the WiZ app v2. So now let's proceed to set up SpaceSense. For that, I open up my app and I go to the Automations tab, and I can see SpaceSense in the top right corner. I click on the small plus, and then the first step is to select a room. For me, obviously, that's my living room, after which I'm proceeded to selecting the beacon. And the beacon usually is the device which is closest to the center of the room. In my case, that would be the linear bar, so I proceed to select it from the list. The next step is choosing the processor, and the processor are the devices which are located in the corner of the room. And for myself, that is the luminaire, so I choose from the list all the lights within my luminaire. Okay, next step. And the next step is the calibration. For that, I need to walk outside of the room, and once I'm outside, stop moving and press next. So that's what I will proceed to do now. I will walk outside and start the calibration.
1 minute later.
Alright, so SpaceSense now is successfully set up for this room, so for my living room, that's great. Now I see the option of my living room within the SpaceSense menu, and by clicking it, yes, I can adjust the settings. So within settings, I have a couple of options. There are settings and then there are advanced ones. Duration of 24 hours, I would like to keep that. And in case of motion detected, I would like the light to turn on, which is right. And in case of no motion detected, I would like to turn the light off, that's also right. With a delay of, let's say, I would like to set it to 3 minutes, which means that in case the lights don't detect any movement, they will turn off in the course of 3 minutes. So I'm happy with that. Then we have advanced, which is the manual override delay. which means that as from the moment that the lights are manually turned off and on, during 1 minute, SpaceSense will not work or be triggered. So let's say I set it to 5 minutes. So from the moment that I turn on or off the lights, for example with my app, SpaceSense will not be triggered in the course of 5 minutes. And within the advanced settings of SpaceSense, we have the sensitivity slider, which is the degree to which SpaceSense is being triggered based on the motion detected in the room. And while I do want my lights to be triggered and turned on when I enter the room, I do not want them to be triggered when my cat wanders around. Therefore, I will set the slider to 2, so that my cat can walk around the room and not turn on the lights in the middle of the night. So I think I have all the settings complete, and now I'm ready to test SpaceSense. So SpaceSense is up and running for me in my living room, which I'm really excited about, and I also really look forward to keep testing. And I do really hope that you try it out and that you enjoy it as much as I did today. Now the word is out. Excellent. We do really look forward to hear how SpaceSense integrates within your daily activities. So I really hope you give it a try very soon and let us know how you feel about it. And now, I think it's time for the Q&A. Hi, Beck. I also have Antona here next to me. Hi again, Antona. And we got quite a few questions. And I think the first one will be for you. And the question sounds like this. How do users change to the new app? Do they need to redo all the settings?
Right. So the answer is obviously not. The migration from V1 to V2, we wanted that to be extremely simple and really thoughtful in the way you could make it happen. So what happens is, comes the end of this month, you're going to have a new app that releases on the App Store and Play Store. And that's the WiZ app V2. So you're going to have V1 and V2 living together for some time, probably a year or a bit more. So people have time to get used to the new interface. People have time to see how it is, try it out, try the new features. And then, so how do you switch over? Well, it's super simple. If you had linked your WiZ account with Google or Facebook or Apple, then all you got to do is you start V2 and you link back with, you sign back in with the same account. And then all of your data just comes back automatically. You have nothing new to set up, and it's just ready for you. Now, if you had not linked your WiZ account to any of those services, that's not a problem. In that case, we'll have a migration flow for you. Very simple, where V1 gives you a code, like a short code you can copy and paste. And you paste that in your V2, and all of your data will be automatically transferred, and you have nothing else to do. So it's really simple switchover, and you have all the time to use V1 and V2 concurrently to get used to all the features.
Sounds pretty easy to me. Thanks, Antona. Michael, I will ask you to pick up the next question. What other applications can SpaceSense be used in? And can you do things like detecting fall for senior people?
Thanks, Vlada. Now, first of all, we started developing SpaceSense because we see a huge potential of this technology to improve people's life. The key benefit of applying Wi-Fi sensing, as we call also the technology, in a lighting system is obviously that lights are everywhere. So the only thing you have to do really is to change your lights to WiZ lamps or to our WiZ plugs, and you're covered everywhere. Now, apart from the use case that we showed, automate your lights with motion, we are developing also new applications with this technology. It's our vision that combined with machine learning, it will unlock many new applications. To the specific example, Vlada, in the field of elderly care, I think Wi-Fi sensing will play a role, but in many more applications. Now for WiZ, it's a building block. It's a building block to have our lights respond, adjust, or even anticipate
to your needs. And you'll hear much more from us in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Now I see we have a couple of more questions related to SpaceSense, and Antona, if you can pick up the next one.
Sure.
All WiZ lights will support SpaceSense or only the new lights?
Right. So SpaceSense as a feature does require a certain level of power from the product, I would say, because we have a lot of calculations to make, right? So that to say that the very old products from, say, 2016, 2017 may not get the feature. But, so which products are getting it? Anything we have produced since mid last year, so since mid 2021, is getting SpaceSense by the end of this year. And then we are working on something more, which is to enable the feature for any product that supports Bluetooth, which is a ton more products produced in the years prior to this. And those would come a few months later because we still have a bit of work. So that's a lot of products that will support it. Eventually, any product that supports Bluetooth in the WiZ range, which is millions of them, will be able to get SpaceSense.
And I think I have another question which links very closely to your previous answer. Which lamp models does SpaceSense work with?
All right, so that's the good bit. It works with everything. You don't need a specific light for it. There's not like one particular model you have to get. Any WiZ light, literally. So it can be your spotlights, your downlights on the ceiling. It could be your portable lights like the bar. It could be the pole, that very nice floor lamp. Any of those is going to work, or any light bulb for that matter. So it's really flexible. As long as you've got 2 WiZ devices placed properly in your room, then you can get SpaceSense.
OK, thank you. If you don't mind, another one on the topic.
All right.
Seems like a hot topic today. I see from the demo video there is a manual override delay function in the SpaceSense setting. How does it work, and what is it for?
OK. So the name might be a bit intricate, like manual override. The concept is super simple. Let's say you have automated one room. So when you walk in, you walk out, the lights, they change automatically, right? And somehow you decide that you want the control back. You want to set them to green for a certain amount of time. Well, the manual override does exactly this. It's a delay you can set, where you say, when I do control manually, when I put the lights to blue or anything I want, then for 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes, then the lights will just ignore altogether what the sensors are saying. So it doesn't matter if I walk in, walk out. No matter what happens, the lights will stay in what I have decided they should be doing. So that's a way for you to get back some manual control. And then after that delay expires, then it just goes back to automation. So if you have left the room, the lights just turn back off.
Thank you, Antona. I think an important one related to the new app is when will it be available?
All right. So the new WiZ app is coming out to the public very, very soon. It should be out there within end of this month or early October. It might shift 1 day or 2, but that's the idea. So 2-3 weeks from now, it will be available on all the app stores and Play stores.
Thank you. I think we have another one also related to the app. Is the expanding library going to include more dynamic modes and/or user-defined dynamic modes?
Yes. All right. So that's I love that question because yes, obviously it's something we're working on, something that's very dear to us. All of those light effects. It's been years we're kind of working on new ones and all. So the answer to both questions is yes. Then the question is when. So for some new light modes, it could come somewhat quickly, but we still need a bit of work. Because as you might know, we have a super wide range of products. It goes from all of those like light bulbs to the portables, everything. So whenever we have something new, we need to make sure it's going to work perfectly on all of them. We're not leaving any of those out of the scope of those light modes. So new ones will come, but only once we have completed all of that testing and we'll have finished the fine-tuning. Now, the user-defined ones is something we have on the roadmap. So we'll get back to you on the exact time for this, but it's something we've been wanting to do for a very long time, and we'll get there.
Something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Now, I see we have another important topic, which is matter.
Yes.
So, Antona, will the newly released luminaires get support for matter?
So yes, they will. Yes, they will. Fundamentally, any product we have released since mid of last year, again, that kind of mid-2021 timeframe, will get Matter compatibility. And so they will get it through what we call the in-field update, which means in your WiZ app, you will have something that tells you, hey, this product is now Matter compatible, so if you want to enable it, then you can. So that's something we're working on. The exact time frame will be confirmed as, we're also working with CSA. We're among the very first ones to have Matter products coming out. So the moment Matter is out, then WiZ will be supporting it.
Thank you, Antonin. So, an interesting one for you, Michael. What would be your favorite feature in App V2?
We talked a lot about SpaceSense, but the other thing I want to mention, and obviously I've been playing with the app for much longer, is really the quick actions that Antonin showed. It's such an easy way to customize a button and get your favorite things available with one click. It saves me time, but it also lets me do things I love, settings that take a bit more time. Now I do them much more often. For me, it's a clear winner. It's so making it so convenient to play with lights.
Thank you, Michael. Antonin, a new one for you.
All right.
Does the application support the dark mode of the interface? Oh.
Yes, yes, it does. That's something we wanted to do very, very early on. So we have a dark theme and a light theme. And so they're quite different, really, especially the dark mode is really pitch black. We're making full use of all of those new screens OLED that just really they're dark, they're black. So you can choose. By default, the default setting when you start is that the app is following your phone. So if your phone is in dark mode, the WiZ app will be on the black background. If your phone is in light theme, then it will be in light. But then if you want to force it, if you want to change this, you can go in the settings of the app and you can select that you would always be in light theme or in dark theme. It's up to you and it's fully supported.
Thank you very much, Antonin. Thank you very much, Michael. We're approaching the end of the event. So in case your question was left untreated, please do reach out to your local Signify PR manager. And now, I think that's all for today. And it's time to chill. So see you around.